could have your attention, I'd like to welcome everyone here to the Treasured Trees of the Midlands. This is a program that I borrowed from Asheville, North Carolina, which I think poor Asheville needs all the help they can get right now. They've had so much trouble. But they had a program and had it for years and used to have a calendar they put out back before we all switched to our phone calendars, when people used to hang the calendars, and they took pictures of their treasured trees and sold this beautiful calendar. And I got in touch with the lady up there, and we decided we needed to have an inventory before we started. And by the time we got an inventory, there wasn't any use of calendars anymore much. But we thank you so much for participating and for entering your trees. And we're just delighted to have you loving trees like we do. And Columbia is a tree city and has been for how many years? Forrest? Hundreds. We've been a tree city, Nashville, for years, maybe 100 years.
When Washington and Lafayette came through, they wrote about how many trees we had, and we have cut them down to.
We've cut down too many.
Yes.
Exactly. And this is Elsie Taylor Logan, who the Taylor family were the original, part of the Taylor family were the original owners of the plantation and area that Columbia is built on. So we have some old-time Columbians here. So I'll get underway and start. The first one is a beautiful beautiful tea olive. Basil, I've got to go see this tea olive. That is gorgeous. This tea olive is quite tall, standing at approximately 30 to 35 feet. The house was built in 1926 by George Henderson, a bookkeeper for a local ice and coal company. George passed away in 1945. His wife, Margaret Henderson, lived in the house from 1926, when the house was completed, until her death in 1994. It is believed this tea olive was planted by Margaret, and is documented by local papers that she was a gardener and involved in many garden clubs. And this award is from Basil Garcia and Caroline Jackson.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Proud to be one.
I'm delighted to give this. And Basil has gotten that honor before. He used to own the Rosewood Natural Foods, and he saved 2 in particular trees, and it was a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But it really makes a difference when I go to park, because I shop there every day. And in the summer, boy, you want to park under that shade. The next one is Waccamaw Avenue, and it's Guy Jones. Guy? There you are, my neighbor. Guy's parents purchased a new home on this tree's lot in 1956. The lot and many similar lots in Waccamaw were planted gardens extending down the slope from Edisto Avenue, where the houses were generally built earlier than the ones on Waccamaw Avenue. As a child in the late 1950s and early 60s, Guy constructed 3 tree houses in this mulberry tree. The tree house was removed in the late 60s, but the tree still remains in its beautiful shape and magnificent size, 50 feet tall and a circumference at 6 feet. The circumference is 13 feet. So that's a huge mulberry. And I'm thrilled we've got 2 mulberries this year. One we haven't had many of before.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I'm so delighted.
There's actually only 1 tree house.
I want to see
3
the tree.
stories.
I'm going to find the tree. 3-story treehouse?
Yes.
I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. It seems like a lot of these are in my neighborhood. This is a live oak, beautiful live oak that is at 116 Edisto Avenue, which is my street. Our street is a street of ginkgos, so we're a street of treasure trees. And it has just finished blooming, changing colors and dropping. It has been absolutely gorgeous. If you ever want to ride down, it's the perfect time. It's the week before Thanksgiving. That's pretty much always when it turns. This is the Lavington oak that came to Columbia and Wales Garden Historic District in 1935. It was brought from St. Bartholomew Parish in Colleton County, a property named for Samuel Lavington in 1740. The owner at the time was John Maybank. He bought 4 such oaks as housewarming gifts to his daughter Anne and son-in-law William Lowndes Kane. They were building a house on the lot that went from Edisto Avenue all the way through to Waccamaw, as did most of the lots at that time. These 4 oaks, suspected to be 6 to 8 inches in diameter on arrival, were hand selected with love and for their potential canopy spread. 3 of the 4 survived. The one of a kind Lavington oak in front of 116 Edisto, now over 100 years old, grew and spread as did the new family. The generations of Kane residents have been there for almost 90 years. The Lavington oak in the front has been well loved and is enjoyed by neighborhood children and their cats. It has suffered its share of storms, tall trucks, and stress. In 1921, 6 cables and 2 rods were installed through the trunk in the hope that the tree survives for many generations more. And this is Margaret Kane, and it is right down the street from me. I pass it every day, and I admire it every single day. And I am so thrilled that she finally put it up.
She's been bugging me about it. Thank you.
It's hard to have a neighbor who does this and own a beautiful tree.
And thank you for all the ginkgos, because they are
Thank
exquisite.
you, thank you. Well, thank the city because they now are replenishing the ginkgos on our street, which is wonderful. Thank y'all. Okay, the next one is on 810 South Holly Street in Columbia. It's another mulberry, and this mulberry is located in Rosewood Public Orchard in the Owensfield Park. It is a treasure tree for several reasons. First, it is a great climbing tree. Now, this is my favorite thing because that's how I learned to love trees. My grandmother could really wield a switch, and if I climbed that tree until my granddaddy got home, she couldn't touch me. So this big magnolia my grandmother couldn't get to, I'd get in the very top of it, and that's how I became a tree lover. This is a tree that Mia, learned to climb on, and it is probably the most climbed tree in Columbia. Second, it is much needed shade. It provides much needed shade in the summer. There are benches and chairs where people sit underneath the wide canopy. Finally, it produces mulberries for people, birds, and animals to eat. The mulberry tree is Maya's favorite tree in Columbia. And we have an award for Maya. Mia. Congratulations. And thank you so much for doing that. We're thrilled. Now, let's see here. Okay, now we've got the Olympia Oak. At 1170 Olympia Avenue, this is Dr. Sherry Jacob, put this up. The Olympia tree is a treasured tree not only for aesthetics and sentimental value, but also for its association with local historical events. It's of significant value to the Midlands area as it represents a compelling community history story. W.B. Whaley founded the Olympia Mill Village in 1899 and opened Olympia Mill as the largest textile mill in the world under one roof. Its mill village boasted 5 different architectural style houses painted in pastel colors for, with beautiful oak trees planted on every corner. Standing 50 feet tall, and the 90-year-old Olympia oak is a remnant of those original trees. Its branches spread 60 feet over the original Olympia Mill, Mill Schoolhouse playgrounds, and its tangled roots signify the deep and abiding connection felt by thousands of Olympia lintheads who support the Olympia Mill Museum as a repository of our collective family and childhood memories. The Olympia oak is a symbol of enduring connections. And by?
No, we'll leave it to Sherry.
Oh, to Sherry, okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We're so glad you put this up. And I can think of Vi because I worked with her so much with Sustainable Midlands on the flooding.
Absolutely. And let me just say, we need to give a shout out to Vi because she has raised awareness about our beautiful treasured trees, not only in the Olympia area, but really all over Columbia. So just because of her work, I go around and I look at all these beautiful trees. So thank you, Vi. I appreciate your being a part of it. Thank you for this award, too.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, let me just say, the Olympia Museum is open Fridays and Saturdays from 11 to 4 with free admission. So if you want to come learn all about the Olympia Mill Village, come see us, okay?
Give the location.
Oh, it's 1170 Olympia Avenue, right at the intersection of Bluff Road and Olympia Avenue.
Is it in the old school?
Well, this schoolhouse was the original mill school that was
Okay.
opened by Whaley for 10 years. And then next door is where Olympia School is.
Okay.
That was opened in 1909. So it went from the house mill school
Okay.
all the way over there. Yeah.
Right.
I'll be quiet now.
Thank you. No. I wanted everybody to know where it was.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So they can visit.
All righty. Can't believe I didn't.
Excuse me. The next is the Ruth Hendricks Family Cemetery, 3rd Avenue and Hendricks Street in Lexington. The oldest known occupant of the cemetery is David Hendricks, a bricklayer whose father fought on the side of the British in the Revolutionary War. David Hendricks' death dates back to 1849. Many of the family's descendants are buried in this cemetery, including some infant children. Molly discovered this cemetery when casting her vote and parked at a distance from the polls. It was a beautiful weather and she walked back to her car to the cemetery planted with huge magnolias. The sun beamed down on the leaves as if to highlight the old tombstones. The trees themselves seemed to form a circle around those spirits that had been laid to rest so long ago. The top branches of the trees seemed to disappear into the sky, while the lower branches gently kissed the ground below. Standing in the middle of the beautiful magnolias, Molly felt a sense of peace and a respite from the craziness of politics and life. The magnolias spread their branches, ready to embrace and protect whoever entered the community. The strong, magnificent magnolias, reminders that we humans need more tree, touched Molly's heart and gave her peace and perspective without saying a word. Molly? So thrilled you passed it. Thank you. I think that is our final one. And I will ask you a favor of all of you. And I keep trying to put this on Facebook, but I don't know whether I've made it public or not. We have so many beautiful spring flowering trees. And, sometimes you'll catch a tree with your phone camera or something that is, when it's just starting to bud out, if y'all would take pictures of those and save them and enter them, because the entry doesn't start until, okay, Amy, September through November. So if you would save the pictures, but if you'd be on the watch out all the time and put the word out, we'd really appreciate it. And on behalf of the Columbia Garden Club, the Tree and Forestry Division of the City of Columbia, the City Council, and the Tree and Appearance Commission of City of Columbia, we thank you for coming, and we thank you so much for participating.